Hello lovely people, welcome to my channel. My name is Tsungie and I love crochet, knitting and just doing crafts. So today I'm making this lovely bracelets here. I've got two different ways of doing the ends. So you either put a button like this, or you can do a chain like this. So I'm going to show you how to make this. You can make this bracelet for yourself, for friends, or for sale. Right, so let's just get right into this video. Before I start, please do subscribe and turn your notification bell. Thank you so much. Okay, so before I start, I'm going to show you what I'm using. I'm using a size 1.6 millimeter hook. You need a button if you choose to use the button. You need a sewing needle, and you need your yarn. I'm using linen. It says linen yarn in Korean. So for this type of yarn, it usually says use size 3 to 4, but I'm using a 1.6 millimeter hook. Then you also need your beads. So for this tutorial, I'm using this size 6 metallic beads, but you can use any size really from size 3 to 6 millimeters. Okay, so let's just start. Right, so I've already put my beads on my yarn to save time, and I'm using 32 beads. Right, so after putting my beads, I'm going to do a slip knot. So I'm going to wrap my yarn on my finger and wrap it once again. I'm going to take my hook, put it under the first one, and grab the second yarn at the back like that, and pull it under like that. Then I pull everything like this, and that is how you do a slip knot. If this was too fast for you, please check my slip knot video. Okay, so after that, I'm going to chain 38. So I'm just going to let my yarn hang on this finger, and with this finger and this finger I hold my yarn, and I'm going to chain 38. So forward, go up a little bit, turn my hook to face down, and move backwards like this. And that is my first chain. I'm going to chain 38 stitches. So I'll do it off camera and come back. Right, so after you're doing your chain, if you're using a different type, if you can't find this yarn, or you're using some type of yarn, you want your chain to be around 15 centimeters. Okay, right, so after doing that, we actually start now. So I'm going to skip the first stitch, and I'll start working in the second stitch. So I'll insert my hook in there like that, and I'm going to grab some yarn, pass it through so that I have two loops like this. After that, I'm going to grab some yarn again and pass this yarn through both these two loops, and that is what we call a single crochet. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to work in the next stitch. Grab some yarn again, pass it through so that you must always have two loops if you're doing single crochets. Grab some yarn and pass through those two loops like that. Right, so I'm going to do this single crochets all the way to the end. So when you get to the end, if you like counting, you should have 37 stitches. Then to start a new row, you're going to chain 1, then you turn your work. So into this row now, we're going to start to use our beads. So in this row, we'll also be doing single crochets, but now we're adding the beads. So I put my hook under those two loops. That's my stitch. I'm going to grab some yarn, do a normal single crochet, and I'm going to do this just 3 without the beads. So 2 and number 3. Like this. After that, I'm going to put my hook into the next stitch. I'm going to bring a bead down like this. Bring a bead down. I'm going to grab my yarn, pass it through. I still have 2 loops. Grab some yarn and pass through those 2 loops. Then I'm going to do a normal single crochet in the next stitch then into the third stitch I'm going to bring a bead down, and do a normal single crochet. Into the next stitch I do a normal single crochet like this. So you're doing single crochets, but the first stitch you put a bead, then the next stitch you don't put a bead, the next stitch you put a bead, and then the next stitch you don't put a bead. So you're going to alternate putting a bead and not putting a bead until you get to the end, right? So I'm going to put 16 beads, including these two. Then I'll meet you when I've crocheted the other beads. So I have crocheted 16 beads in, so I'm left with 3 stitches. I'm not going to three stitches. I'm just going to do 3 normal 3 normal double single crochets. Like this. So after that row we're going to repeat row 1 again. That means we're going to do single crochets in this whole row. So I'm going to insert my hook under those. Okay, so after that row we're going to do the last row putting beads. So we're going to do single crochets in the first 3 stitches as normal. 1, 2 and 3, like this. After that we're going to start to add our beads. So into the 4th stitch, put my hook, drag a bead, pull a bead down like this, grab some yarn, and I'll do a normal single crochet. Then into the next stitch I'm also going to do just a single crochet without the bead. Then in the next one I'm going to pull a bead down, stitch you do a normal single crochet. Right, so I'm going to add these beads all the way to the end of this line, then I'll meet you when I'm there. Right, so at this point our bracelet's almost done. I'm going to do the last row. So chain 1 like this, then I'm just going to single crochet in all of the stitches. So the last row is just single crochets in all the stitches. Okay, so when I get to the end I want to make 5 stitches around this like a border. So I'm going to insert my hook and I'll be just doing single crochet. So that's 1, I'll put it in the next, that's 2, in the next that's 3, in the next that's 4, in the next that's 5. After I do the 5 stitches I'm going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I want to join this chain to this side, so I'm going to turn my thing and just going to the first stitch there, and I'm going to join with a single crochet. So yarn, grab some yarn so that I have 2 loops, and I make a single crochet like this. Now before I make this prettier, I'm just going to test with my button, and it fits well. Right, so I just want to create a nice little border around this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my thing like this, and I'm just going to do 6 single crochets around this. So I set my hook in there, grab some yarn, and I have 2 passo into the first stitch, just here, set my hook in there. So now I'm going to grab my yarn, come up with it so that I have 2 loops, and these 2 loops I want to slip this one, the one here in front, into the one at the back. like this. Like that. So what that does, it creates like a chain on top. Then I'm going to go into the next stitch, which is just here. Grab some yarn, come up with it, and slip stitch again, like that. You see, it creates that horizontal line, right? So here there's no like definite stitches, but in between here, that's what I'm calling my stitch here. So I'm going to insert my hook in there, grab some yarn, come up with it, and slip stitch, right? So if I flip my thing, you can see that it's forming that horizontal chain on top. And so what I'm going to slip stitch all the way until I get here, and I come back. Before I continue, I just want to bring something to your attention. So when I first did this, I had measured myself, but I measured myself incorrectly. So when I got to the end, I actually realized that my bracelet was small. So what I did before I did the slip stitches, I actually extended my thing here. Then I measured it on myself to make sure that it fit me. Then after that, then I did it exactly as I've done here. So if you size, your hand is bigger than mine, there are two places where you can increase your bracelet. You can follow this pattern, then you increase when you get to the end, then you just add some, what you call it, some extra rolls to suit your size. Or at the very beginning, measure yourself when you're doing that, what you call it, when you're doing the chain stitch, the chain at the beginning, measure yourself to see that the chain goes around you. Remember, when you're doing the chain, it must just be an odd number, because you're going to do 3 plus 3, that's 6, and here we're going to put 16 beads. But the nice thing is that, like, we're not going to put in 32 stitches, but in 31. So it's 31 plus 6, that's 37. So if you're slightly bigger, you can also do the math, something okay. So let me continue. So when I get to the end here, I'm just going to turn, and as I'm turning, I'm just going to do I'll be just slip stitching here. I'm going to try to slip stitch in 5 stitches if possible. 1, 2, that's 3, that's 4, and that's 5, like this. After that, I'm going to do slip stitches again this side. So I'm just going to go under this stitch. So I'm going to continue. I've put my stitch in the first stitch this side, and I'm going to grab some yarn, come up with it, and slip stitch, like that. So I'm going to slip stitch now, going this way. And here this side there's actually stitches, so it's easy, yeah. And you slip stitch, so you continue slip stitching, going all the way this side. So let me quickly do that, guys. So I've done the slip stitches. Then when I got here, I also turned, right? So when you finish, you just cut your yarn. After cutting your yarn, stretch your stitch like this, then remove your what you call it, your hook. And now what you want to do, you want to take this yarn and you want to bring it up. So you can just go maybe in the next stitch, just here. Okay, I've just managed to squeeze in. I'm just gonna bring that yarn to the top here, like this. Then after that, I'm going to take that yarn and I'll put it inside that loop. I'll insert it inside the loop, right? After that, you pull like this. After that, the only thing that's left is just to tuck this yarn in, right? Then your thing is literally done. The only thing that's left now is tucking these yarns, and we're going to sew in the button now. after that I'm going to tack this also inside my bracelet. So you can simply tack it inside your bracelet, then cut. I'm now going to show you how to finish the other one. I made another one and I just want to show you how you finish this one. So here we did 5 rows. So now what you're going to do, you're going to try to go to the middle of each row and you're just going to do a single crochet. So to the middle of the row and you just do a single crochet. Sorry, it's black, you can't really see. Then I'm going just to go to the next, which is somewhere here. I'm going to do another single crochet, so that's number 2. Then here in the middle, that's like my number 3 row, and I'm going to do a single crochet. Right, so after doing the number 3 single crochet, you're going to chain 20. So after chaining this 20, now what you're going to do, you're going to take your hook, pull it under the chain like this, and you're going to grab some yarn, then you go under with it and you come up so that you have 2 loops. Then after that you're going to grab some yarn and pass your yarn through the 2 loops like this. So now put your hook under that chain. Sorry, at the beginning you have to fiddle a lot. Sorry, put it under, right? Grab some yarn, go under with it and come up so that you have 2 loops and do a single crochet like that. So that's what we'll be doing. It's just single crochets. You go under, grab some yarn, go under with it and come up so that you have 2 loops. So I'm going to do those single crochets until I get to where we started. Right, so once you get to where you started, you're going to put your hook again where you did your 3rd stitch and you do another single crochet. After that you're going to do the 4th single crochet and you're going to do a 5th one like this. Right, so now what we're going to do, what we did with the previous one. We're going to do slip stitches. So we're going to slip stitch all the way until we get here, and when we get here we're going to do exactly as we've done here. Then after that we're going to slip stitch this side again. So I don't think I need to show you again how to slip stitch. You're just going to put your hook in your stitches and slip this one into this one. So you're going to slip stitch all the way until you get here, this side. Then you do exactly as I've done this side, then you slip stitch again back here, then you cut your yarn. So that's how you do the other one. Alright, thank you so much for joining me. Let me quickly do that and I'll show you when it's done. This is how they look, you guys, when I wear them all together. Yeah, obviously my favorite one is the green one. I just love green, you guys. Yes, that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining me. Look forward to seeing more videos. Yeah, thank you so much. Please do subscribe and turn on your notification bell. Okay, bye bye.